Question 5C. The zeros of a polynomial function are -2, 4, and 0. What are all the factors of this function? So there's a little trick here. I'm going to show you the sleight of hand. There's a theorem, fundamental theorem of algebra, and that says if these are your zeros, x equals -2, x equals 4. I'm just spacing them out a little bit, and x equals 0. If these are your roots, that means the flip of the sign are your factors. So for instance, if x equals -2 is a root or a 0, remember they mean the same thing. If x equals -2 is a 0, that means x in parentheses, x plus 2 is a factor. Okay? So that means if x equals +4 is a 0, that means x minus 4 is a factor. So you flip the sign. If x equals 0, which is weird because it's neutral, let's just assume subtraction, x minus 0 would be the factor, but anything minus 0 is just your anything, right? Because 5 minus 0 is 5. So this simplifies to just being x. Okay. That alone, that little fact can get you through the answer, right? That means the answer has to be choice 3 because it has -4 and +2. Okay. Now, what ends up happening if you want to do this graphically, factors are multiplied together. You would just type in all of these multiplied in y equals, and then that equation, that function is going to cross the x-axis at -2 and 4 and 0. So really you're setting each piece equal to 0 and solving it like you did before with quadratic equations, okay? So the fundamental theorem of algebra, it's a quick one to memorize and it's a very powerful one to memorize. If -2 is a 0, that means positive x plus 2 is a factor. If +4 is a 0, x minus 4 is a factor. And if x equals 0 is a 0, that means just straight up x is a factor. And that lists them all out correctly, okay? Very powerful.